Today we're going to tell you about the Jayco Eagle construction. Come on. Today we are at Travelland RV Superstore on the Langley Bypass, and we're going to talk about the Jayco Eagle construction. So there's lots of details to learn, and Corey and I do a ton of research and then we bring it all together to share with you. But today is a little bit unique because we've had a hard time finding information on the Jayco Eagle. There is lots of information out there, but then there seems to be holes and things missing, and we always try to fill those holes in for you. And what we found is, even though I've got phone numbers and emails to the top brass, they're not getting back to us. So we've been doing this for over 6 months, trying to gather all this information, and they're not willing to get back to us and help us out. So we don't want to not talk about the Jayco Eagle, because we know it's a wonderful trailer that all of you guys are interested in seeing, and we like it too. So we're still going to talk about it, but what we're going to ask for is if you guys could help out. In the spots where we have holes, we know some of you might have some of the information to fill it in. So we'd like you to leave us some comments so that we can all learn from each other. Now, of course, we need that to be verified information, but if you've got some and you can send it to us, then we can verify it and we can share it with everybody, and between us all, we'll figure this out. So, of course, in the description is the timestamps and the currency converter and the link to the RV research that we use, or the research tool that we use, and you can use too. And of course, there's a link in the description to buy us a coffee. And we really love it when you guys do that as well. So thanks to Rob and Angie, because you guys have supported us many times, and it's nice to know you're out there watching, hanging out with us. So today we are going to get on with the construction on the Jayco Eagle. Come on. The Eagle series of trailers does come in the bumper pull and in the fifth wheel, and so we will take you to some tours of those at the end. You'll be able to click on a link there. But this video again is just about the construction. So it all starts with the chassis, right? And Jayco engineers and manufactures all of their own chassis, and they do that so that they can be specific to different floor plans and put tanks and things wherever they want. So there's pros and cons to all of that, but these seem to be pretty strong chassis that I don't hear a lot of complaints about. One of the things I'm noticing is that they do completely e-coat all of their chassis for rust prevention, but I just want to show you that nothing's foolproof. If you bump or scratch on the steel, you'll see that it does expose enough that it could get some rust on there. So you really need to be careful and take care of all of those things, and you can, no big deal. The other important feature about the hitch is that it is extended right through the front of the chassis. So it's not just stuck on there, but it actually goes through and comes back to probably about this far into the chassis, and then is welded at all points where it touches the I-beam. So that makes it a stronger hitch. If we look under here, you can see that there is a large I-beam. They come between 8 and 10 inches of I-beam, and they have outriggers. Now Jayco says their outriggers are anywhere from 4 to 6 feet apart, but we can see here that they're definitely not 4 feet apart. So that's a good thing, right? Now let's come back and talk a little more about the floor system. This is one of those spots where I had a really hard time getting much information. So again, if you guys have some, put it in the comments, send us the information, and then we will verify it and make sure and gather all the information. As a community, we'll figure it out. So what I know about the floor system is it does have that Darko moisture barrier that they start with. I believe we're talking about wood joists. I cannot find out how far they are spaced apart, what size of joists they actually are, but I do believe they are wood. It does have fiberglass insulation and a reflective foil piece that goes through as well. Now the reflective foil is just that, it's reflecting heat. So whether you need it inside or outside, whether you're trying to heat or cool, it does help with that. So that is completely throughout the floor. It does have 5/8 inch tongue and groove plywood that comes in 4x8 sheets. What I can't find out about that is how is that plywood attached down to those joists. I imagine it's a screw system, but I don't know that for sure. As well as then the vinyl that goes on top, I'm assuming is glued down, but I don't have that information either. And then once we get that whole flooring system together, how is it attached to the chassis? I can't get that information either. But I did see back under here, if you look at the outriggers, the flooring system is actually bolted in place there. So it is possible that these same bolts are used throughout the floor. But again, I can't figure that out, and I can't get anyone from Jayco to respond to answer a few of those questions. So let's move on to the walls. Over here at the walls on the Jayco Eagle, there are some interesting details, so we want to share that with you. The walls themselves, the end wall, and the two slides are all built the same. They have an aluminum frame, they have 2-inch foam, they have the interior wall board. Then on the outside they have a luan and they have their fiberglass. So here's the interesting part. Jayco brags about how very strong their vacuum bonded walls are. But as I researched and poked and looked at for more information, what I found was it seems they actually use a vacuum bond and a pinch rolling system, that the frame and the insulation and the interior are vacuum bonded together, and then that the luan and the fiberglass are possibly vacuum bonded too, and then the whole thing is put together with a strong pinch rolling system. So that's how I understand that to be. The other thing that I don't know completely about is that we know they aluminum frame out all the windows and doors and the box and all of those things, but I couldn't find any information regarding aluminum studding going down the wall. Now, in smaller trailers, when you have a foam insulated aluminum framed wall, you can do the doors and the windows, and then there's still quite a bit of aluminum structure in there. But in a larger trailer with bigger expanses, we would hope that there would be some studs within the wall itself. I don't know that because they wouldn't return any of my calls or emails. So again, that's an area that if any of you have information on, we'd love to hear about it, and we can all put these pieces together and figure it out. Now, let's go talk about the roof. Now for the roof. Jayco really brags about their Magna Truss roof because it's a pretty heavy-duty, strong roof, and they've proven it in some tests. So basically what you have is a wood trussed roof. They put a 7-inch header over the slides because it is a pretty heavy roof system and you want to support it. And I do think that adds to some of the height on the inside as well. But they put that header in. They have these crowned wood trusses, which they have supports that are 2x2 wood pieces in them, which is stronger than most use, as well as their nail plates that they use to secure everything are also larger and stronger. And they have 2 layers of rolled fiberglass that they put through, and they also have another layer of that reflective foil that goes through there. They use, let me look at my notes, a 3/8 inch plywood that is screwed down to those trusses. Then they smooth all of that down, make sure that there's nothing that could catch or poke through. They glue right out to all of the edges, and then they use a Dyflex product for the roofing membrane. Inside it as well is all the AC ducting, and they have quite an extensive AC ducting system that they make out of sheet metal, which has also got the insulation around it, and it circulates the air very well. And you'll see all the ducts when we go on a tour and look at the inside. So now let's go take a look at the front cap, because that's a kind of continuation. Come on. Now let's talk about this front cap. Now remember I said it was sort of a continuation of the roof? Well, the trusses end up there, but the wood carries on as studs, but in a horizontal fashion as it comes down. The rolled fiberglass and the reflective foil from the roof for insulation all comes down and carries on through this front end. So it's different than the sides, but more similar to the roof. Then they put this really nice fiberglass cap on the outside. So that wraps up the construction on the Jayco Eagle. And of course, there's a few glaring openings there that we need information on. We're hoping that you guys can help us out. So drop us a comment below so that we can all learn from each other. But if you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe so that we can keep the conversation going and you know when we have more things coming out. At the end here, you'll be able to click on one of the tours because we all want to know what's inside this baby too. I know you do, and I can't wait to show you because this is kind of a cool one. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, if we're giving you any value, please feel free, buy us a coffee. We love to know that you're out there supporting us, and we're so glad you spent your time with us. Thanks for watching.